Here in chapter 6b, we're talking about the present perfect. Now, technically, this is another past tense, but it influences the present. So it's not something we're going to get confused with preterite and imperfect, which we've been working on majority of semester 2. The present perfect tells what a person has or have done. We say it different in English. I have done my homework. She has done the homework. So that's what it means in English. It brings the past to the present. So that's meaning the past influences the present. So for example, in English, I might be having a conversation with someone and I said, "Have you had breakfast?" And you say, "I have had breakfast," or "I have eaten breakfast." And that'll influence if you take a donut from them. What happened in the past earlier that day is influencing now the present. Oftentimes, this isn't like the way far past. It's pretty much used for what you have done like that day or maybe the day before. You're going to form it with a form of haber plus a past participle. Now, we've seen haber, we probably just didn't know it. Haber is a verb like había, hubo, hay. So we have it in 3 tenses, but here's what it is for the present perfect. In the yo, just H-E-A. Remember the H is silent. Us, hemos, han. Notice I'm not saying hemos and han, the H is silent. So if you look at these endings, they look pretty similar to the patterns we already know. So that's good for us. And then after that, we'll add ado to AR verbs. So we drop the AR and add ado. Or ido for ER-IR verbs. We drop the ER-IR and then add ido. For example, esta mañana he hablado con mis estudiantes. So there you see the form of haber, and then I took hablar, dropped the AR, added ado. This morning, I have spoken with my students. And I might be explaining this morning, I have spoken with my students, and I'm going to give them a pop quiz because they're so good at Spanish. What happened before is influencing what happened now. Here's another. Hoy Marta se ha duchado. Now I put this one in on purpose here. Don't let se throw you off. A is a verb, duchado is a verb. What do we know about verbs? They like to be friends. Don't break up friends. Don't start putting a se or a may or a te in the middle of your formula. We want it out front. Today, Marta has showered. There are some spelling changes, of course, for the present participle. Some of these words need to add an accent onto the I so we keep the sound we want. So for example, caer, we drop the ER, add ido. But we don't want that A and I beside each other with no accent, so we add it, caído. Leer, leído. Oír, oído. Traer, traído. You should notice these verbs are in the same category a lot. We know about idolize. It's that same type of verb. There are some irregulars as well. And in fact, if you start looking at English, there's tons of English irregulars for this. In fact, when we're speaking in English, we often get it wrong. So for decir, I'm not going to drop the drop the IR and add ido. Instead, the whole word is just dicho. Devolver, devolver, devuelto. Escribir changes to escrito. So notice it has the same root of the original word that can help you memorize it. Hacer, hecho. Morir, muerto. Poner, puesto. Romper, roto. Ver, visto. Y volver, vuelto, to return. So notice devolver and volver are both part of it. When we have roots words and then we add a prefix or a suffix, those will always change. For example, of an irregular here, hemos, so I still put on my form of haber. Escrito, that was written. Los ensayos, we have written the essays.